Never got love from the government. Just get Bitcoin. What's going on, y'all? Never got love from the government, huh? That's why Satoshi made Bitcoin, huh? What's going on, y'all? In the chat, the Logic Sphere, what's going on? Nigel, what's going on? We just want to be free, huh? Passive income. Passive income says, let's go. Snoop Dogg has landed in the NFT, in the Sandbox NFT game. Yes, he has. We might talk about that a little bit. Alright, y'all, what's going on? It's some show URL here with Untwisting the Game Crypto, where we talk Bitcoin, Polkadot, Cardano, NFTs, where we clown governments and the SEC and government officials who have no idea what they're talking about or no idea what they're doing. Welcome. We're going to get started here in a little bit, alright? All right, y'all, tonight I'm actually drinking 1800 premix peach margarita, and of course I had to put a little lime in there. Also, some tahini is in there. We're gonna get started here in 1 minute. All right, so y'all know how this goes. First thing that we're gonna do, we're gonna shout out new subscribers real quick. before we get started? Okay, so let's shout out these subscribers real quick. We thank you all for joining the Untwisting the Game YouTube channel. We're so glad to have you. If you haven't joined our Discord, definitely join our Discord. There is a solo.2 link in the description. Click that link, you'll find our Discord link and can join immediately. We have a lot of good content that is being shared in here on a daily basis. Daily. Okay. Okay. All right. So, new subscribers, join the Discord. We'd love to have you. So we got, and hopefully I'm maybe repeating some name here, but we got Jonas Iniguez, Mar Petwades, P DMW 101, Tony Polite, Les Allen, Speak Yo Peace TV, Payatero, Michael G, Richinto, You Rich, Ray Akhtar, JL Webb, JRock 323, Web Designing Tutorials, and Carl Sampson. Thank you all so much for subscribing. It means a lot. And like I said, go ahead and jump in this Discord. We'd love to have you. The Logic Sphere says, I'm on the side of the banks with the tanks, never bet against the sheep. Nigel Cardano's expo this weekend, question mark. Are you talking about the summit? I think that is. Isn't that around the corner? Is that this weekend? If so, we'll be tuning in. Okay, yeah, so just real quickly, y'all. China. I mean, what's new? I think this page said it perfectly right here. China cryptocurrencies are illegal. Me literally yawning while posting this. Like, what's new? As I said in the Discord earlier, if anything, it would be nice for a little bit of a panic sale so I can buy some more cheap and discounted crypto. But it looks like, y'all, it looks like we're doing okay, right? Nothing too crazy is happening right now. So yeah, I mean, again, what's new? Yeah, shocking, right? China bans crypto again for the 100th time. Again, this should be China bans crypto, right? But again, like, we're just so used to this at this point with the China FUD. It's just like, I mean, what do you want us to do at this point? And I'm sure they'll find ways to continue to ban it again and again in multiple different ways. Who knows? But yeah, we're used to it at this point. Kim says China bans everything that gives its people more freedom. The crypto ban in China is the biggest confirmation how much freedom crypto brings to the people as it unchains them from governments and central banks. Absolutely. Absolutely. Max and Stacy, they play that that song quite a bit on their channel. But yeah, I mean, we're still stacking sats. So, I mean, so it is what it is. We're going to keep moving forward. Nigel, diminishing returns on China and Elon FUD. You know, at this point, any sort of FUD, I just take it as an opportunity to buy more, right? I think we all know where this is going, where the market is heading in the long term. So any of this FUD, like, go for it. We're still buying over here. Let's do a quick market overview. All right, if y'all are jumping in, make sure y'all hit that thumbs up. Y'all stay on that thumbs up. We really appreciate that. Thank you for that. Okay, so Bitcoin 42.2, ETH 2.8, ADA 226, Solana 137, DOT is $31 right about now. Another a token that I've been really watching like a hawk is Luxo. It's at 21. It had a cute little dip during the past week when we saw the markets decline. So, you know, I'm keeping a close eye on that, and I have started accumulating Luxo. The more research that I do, and we're going to talk a little bit more about it in this episode, the more research that I do, the more that I hear the founders talk, the more I just learn about the digital fashion trend, in general, and kind of the culture. Again, Luxo, they're trying to do a little bit more than that, but I've just been really impressed, and this is definitely you know, a token that I plan to hold for the next 5 years minimum, right? That's where I'm at right now with the research that I've done on Luxo. So again, let's look at Luxo real quick. So, you know, definitely not, you know, the cutest situation to be buying at $21. But where was it? Back in, let me go to the 1 year. You know, it was at a low of like $5 during that massive dip that we had in the summer. Wish I had gotten in right there, but you know, it is what it is. Like I said, the reason why I'm buying it right now is because I do plan to hold it for minimum the next 5 years. So that's where I'm at with that, and I'll probably talk more about that as I continue the research and continue learning about what they're doing and the space that they're in. Okay, we're about to get started. Again, go ahead and hop in this Discord. I've been going off. I've been going ham in this Metaverse channel, y'all. I've been going down rabbit holes, y'all. I've been going down rabbit holes. Definitely one of those weeks where I just have, again, one of those times where you find yourself, you know, 30 tabs deep on one subject because you just keep going down the rabbit hole, right? So we're going to talk a little bit about that today. So first, let's talk about Twitter and Bitcoin. What's up, y'all? If y'all just dropped in, thank y'all for dropping in. We're about to get started. Today we're talking about Twitter and Bitcoin and their integration of Bitcoin tips, right, or payments. We're going to be talking about digital fashion. We're going to be talking about digital models and influencers, and then we're going to wrap it off talking a little bit about the 3D Tech Festival that happened this week. And, one thing about that, actually, you know what? I'm going to stop right there. We'll circle back here in a second. So let's hit this chat real quick, and then we'll get into the first article. Okay, let's hit this chat. Nigel, the Cardano Summit is scheduled to begin tomorrow, Saturday, September 25th. The summit is scheduled to run for 2 days, the 25th to the 26th. Nigel, quick search. Thank you for that information. I'm actually surprised that I didn't have that. Did I not have that in the reminders? Maybe I didn't. Okay. Well, yeah, thank you for that reminder on that. Creole and I will definitely be tuned in on that for sure. Awesome. Yeah. And we're definitely going to try, I know they have that kind of virtual setup and whatnot. Definitely interested in checking all of that out and, seeing what the hot topics are tomorrow. So yeah, thank you for that. Okay, let's get into our first article here. The big news with Twitter and Bitcoin. Okay, so this happened yesterday, right? You can now get paid in Bitcoin to use Twitter. Okay. Twitter on Thursday announced it will now allow users to tip their favorite creators on the social network using Bitcoin. The company introduced tipping as a test feature back in May as a way to experiment with helping creators earn payments from their followers for the content they post on Twitter. The company announced Thursday that its tips feature will now roll out globally to all Apple iOS users this week and will become available for Android users in the coming weeks. Previously, users could tip with fiat currency using more traditional payment services such as Square's Cash App and PayPal's Venmo, which I thought that was interesting. I don't know if I've just overlooked that. I have seen on Twitter where you can tip with Brave, with BAT, right? But I'm not familiar with that, so I thought that was interesting. I guess I've just overlooked that. But moving forward here, Twitter will integrate the Strike Bitcoin Lightning wallet service so creators can receive Bitcoin tips. The company will also allow users to add their Bitcoin address to send and receive these cryptocurrency tips. Additionally, Twitter on Thursday said it is also experimenting with a feature that would allow users to authenticate and showcase their collections of NFT digital assets on the social network. The company did not provide much detail or any specifics about this blockchain project, but said it's another way to support creators who make digital art. So very, very interesting. I could have sworn that I shared this video in the Discord at some point, but I actually came across a video on YouTube, and I think it was a concept video, but it had showed the Twitter interface, right? And it showed where it's, where it has tweets, replies, and comments. Let me just look at my phone. And we're still suspended on Twitter, just so y'all know. I think we're just going to make a new profile at this point because it's gotten out of hand. But so on the Twitter profile where it says tweets and replies, media, likes, in this concept video next to likes, there was like an NFTs tab, and it showed, your NFT on there. So again, I don't know if that was somebody, an insider posted this video of the actual concept or interface that they're working on, or if somebody random came up with that concept piece. But I tried to find it and I couldn't find it. And I thought I shared it in the Discord, but anyway, really cool to hear this. This is going to be super interesting. I know this is going to be very, very popular for people to use. So yeah, great news. And I mean, it was a matter of time, right? It was a matter of time for Twitter to incorporate Bitcoin payments or tips in some way. So not surprised about this, but great news. So let's go ahead and move forward. Let's check the chat real quick. Samuel Johnson, wow. Okay, so now we're about to get into stuff. Let me take a sip of my drink, y'all. Okay. So let me first at least attempt to explain why I'm talking about this so much. I feel like the past month I've been talking a lot about VR, a lot about the metaverse. The past couple of weeks I've been talking a lot about digital and virtual fashion. And, definitely something that I noticed on the last video, some people were like, okay, well, what can we invest in, right? And that's a good question. And as I continue to do this research, I'm starting to uncover some blockchain projects and, tokens that you can start to accumulate, things of that nature. But I think what's really important to do is, take a step back, not always be about the token or the coin, right? And sometimes just be about where is the trend, right? Where's the trend? What industries are going through transformation, and, how will blockchain be a part of that transformation, and X, Y, and Z, right? So, and that's kind of where I've been at the past few weeks. It has just really been diving into this industry of, metaverse, of, the fashion industry, and how these conversations have already been happening in the fashion industry and luxury fashion industry about digital fashion, right? So I've just been diving deeper and deeper into that. And what I've been doing, I've been just connecting these dots and following these breadcrumbs all across the interwebs and blogs and articles and people, their Twitters, their Instagrams, all kinds of stuff. I've just been connecting dots and following breadcrumbs and starting to gather enough information where I see where this is going, and I'm building my confidence kind of in this innovation that is happening, right? Because like I said, I didn't understand the impact digital fashion was really going to have until like a week or two ago. Right? So with that being said, again, I want to say I don't see any crypto people talking about this. I don't see it happening. And so for me, that lets me know, even though I feel like we're late on these topics, that we're still early to this. So the opportunity is just right here for us to grab It's right here for us to start paying attention to the companies and the protocols that are emerging to facilitate the infrastructure and applications and whatnot for this digital fashion trend. And that was a mouthful, but I felt like I needed to say that. So Digital Tech Festival. So I'm going to connect some dots here. So first of all, we have the dematerialized Marjorie Hernandez. This was a great talk. Like I said, when you're doing research on projects, it's about listening to these podcasts, listening to, these talks and fireside chats and things of that nature, and diving a little bit deeper. So that was awesome. Creators in the Metaverse. This was a really interesting talk. So the first thing I want to mention right here is Daniela, or Danny, I think they say for short. I loved her definition of Metaverse. I'm not going to repeat it because I don't want to get it wrong, but I highly suggest going over here. You can watch their recorded videos, so you can go back and watch. But I loved her definition of the Metaverse. So one thing that I want to read real quick from Danny is this that she has on this outfitdoesnotexist.com. This is her company, and so let me read this real quick. In May 2019, the first digital-only dress was sold by digital fashion house The Replicant for $9,500. The press went wild. From Quizzical, quote, "Would you spend $10,000 on a virtual dress? Question mark. Quote, end quote. To outraged." Let me start over. Let me go back. The press went wild. From Quizzical, "Would you spend $10,000 on a virtual dress?" to outraged, "It's not even wearable." The majority of outlets dubbed digital fashion a futurist fad, laden with tongue-in-cheek comparisons to the notorious parable, The Emperor's New Clothes. 2020's sweatpants-sanctioned confinement led to a rapid acceleration in the digital fashion space, from colleagues' Zoom backgrounds to AR made-over selfies. We all agreed to embrace what we saw through screens as a form of reality, particularly when it came to aesthetics. Just as in the original parable, there are now a whole list of digital tailors responding to the need to look good in the ether. They promise clothes woven from the purest silk and finest gold thread, invisible to all but those of your rank and stature, aka anyone with an Instagram account. What's more, with an outcrop of virtual fashion marketplaces, some are even delivering. It is estimated that digital fashion will have a TAM, which is total. What is? I'm going to look that up in a second. My bad, I forgot what that is. It is estimated that digital fashion will have a TAM of 10 billion by 2030. 2021 will be the year that this shift from conception to adoption begins. The $9,500 virtual dress worn by the emperor, in this case the wife of QuantStamp CEO Richard Ma, can now be bought and rendered for only $35, and brands are taking note. Versace, Louis Vuitton, Balenciaga, Gucci, Burberry have all made forays into digital fashion through both the design and distribution of digital fashion goods. Most recently, Alexander McQueen's own Sarabande Foundation released Ouroboros, a line of digital only haute couture. This outfit does not exist. It's a platform powering the shift towards digital fashion through education, exploration, and exhibition. Each month explores a theme from digital design and distribution to marketing in the metaverse, with deep dive features on their advents and possibilities. These explorations are accompanied by partnerships with pioneering institutions across the fashion, sustainability, and tech to drive this shift. You can also find the most brilliant feats of digital design showcased through my Instagram. The future of fashion is digital. So, like I said, I was really enjoying what she was saying in her in the fireside chat. And just so y'all know, this is the outfit that she mentioned earlier this year. Richard Ma, the chief executive of San Francisco-based security company QuantStamp, spent $9,500 on a dress for his wife. And this was back in 2019, right? So that's what she was referring to. So the next thing that I want to jump into here, we're going to come back to some of this. So right here, Coca-Cola's NFT and identity. So this was a really great conversation here. Right here, Chief Operating Officer of Tafi. I've actually used Tafi before. I created my avatar for VR chat in Tafi, and I mean, the application was awesome. It was just awesome to use, right? And I created my avatar and was able to upload that to VR chat, and now that's my avatar in VR chat. And he is also COO of Daz3D, which I've been hearing more about. From my understanding, Daz3D is a user-friendly, good for entry-level 3D avatar makers. So I might check that out. But over here, if we go to Cameron James, the CEO and founder of the Diigitals, again, he has some interesting things to say in the chat, but I just came across this the other day. So let me read this about real quick, and then I'll show you what's going on here. Okay. The Diigitals is the world's first all-digital modeling agency. Here at the Diigitals, we are utilizing the rising accessibility of new technologies and taking the first steps into a new frontier of digital exploration. Within this collaborative hub, we will demonstrate the potential of 3D fashion modeling and showcase its applications for innovative brands, acting as both a showroom to illustrate possibilities and a gallery where a portfolio of diverse digital identities can be appreciated. The Diigitals erases the boundaries between reality and the digital. Again, a lot of talk about erasing the boundaries between digital, our physical reality and, digital reality, right? A lot of this kind of hyper reality conversation going on here. So here are the models. Now, Shoutout is actually pretty popular. If we go over here, 218,000 followers, right? The world's first digital supermodel. And so, even Tyra Banks was commenting on some of these photos, right? Now, if we go back, let's just look through some of the work here. Okay. Wait a minute, am I passing? Okay, yeah, you know, collaborations with KFC, work with KFC. Um, Work with Samsung. Work with Louis Vuitton, Ferragamo, Michelob Ultra, right? And also this no, I don't think it was that digital model. This digital model did something for Mercedes or something like that, right? So again, really interesting stuff going on here, that we need to be paying attention to. Um, okay, now let's move forward. Let me go back over here. Let's hit the chat real quick and then we'll talk about these digital influencers. Okay, yeah, right here. Founder of Reblika. He does a talk. I don't think I listened to this. No, I haven't listened to this one yet, but I will go back and listen to it. Samuel Johnson, have you checked out Boston Protocol? They are creating decentralized commerce with real world NFTs. I have heard of that. The name sounds familiar, but I have not looked into that. Thank you, Nigel. Yes, correct. Total addressable market. Correct. TAM, or total available market. Correct. Thank you for that. Okay. Okay, so next thing I want to talk about is these digital influencers. But first, a little bit about Reblika here. At Reblika, we blur the lines between real and digital. We are an award-winning character company that creates state-of-the-art digital humans, 3D scans, and digital doubles for the fashion, gaming, and film industries. We enable brands to engage their audiences in new and exciting ways, weaving compelling stories and ensure consistency across the physical and digital worlds, though through innovative technology and expertly crafted content. Okay, so there's a little bit about the company. Now, what I thought was interesting was this, the virtual influencer. So for most of us, we may be familiar with little Michaela, right? Now, I had no idea that there were this many virtual influencers with heavy followings out there. I've honestly only been familiar with Lil Michaela. But anyway, let's read a little bit of this. Virtual influencers are rapidly establishing themselves as the brand ambassadors, celebrities, and style icons of the future, with huge audiences, impressive engagement rates, and real earnings potential. These avatars, digital doubles, and virtual beings are computer-generated characters, carefully crafted for maximum appeal in looks, personality, and actions in order to generate real emotional connections between brands and their target audiences through compelling storytelling. Virtual influencers are rapidly establishing themselves as the brand ambassadors, celebrities, and style icons of the future with huge audiences, impressive engagement rates, and real earnings potential. Oh, wait, I just read that. Did I not? Yeah. But anyway, and they just kind of talk about the advantages of, brands having these virtual influencers. And what I also thought was really interesting is this data right here. Audience of virtual influencers by age and gender. So mostly women are the audience for these virtual influencers, right? And I think that's interesting. I would love to know kind of why that is, right? But I thought that was really interesting. And also, according to the age, 18 to 24 and 25 to 34 are those, I guess, who are most identifying or, most connected to these virtual influencers. So, interesting information there. Again, focusing on Gen Z and millennial consumers. And to show one more thing that they're working on right now is Styletto, a fashion avatar platform. Which is a garment software and customizable realistic avatars. Since the pandemic, fashion brands are trying to find a new way to innovate and become more sustainable. As a result, more demands for realistic avatar and fashion for design, stage, and marketing. Reblika is currently developing a platform to help fashion brands creating realistic avatars that fit into their existing design and production pipeline. And there are many companies that are already working on these platforms, working on, there was another interesting talk. I think it was day one. Okay, right here. How to accelerate 3D material digitization for digital product creation. This was interesting. Frontier.cool, right? So, again, it's important to pay attention to this stuff when you have an entire industry that's in the middle of this transformation, right? Okay, and we're actually about to wrap it up here in a second. I just have a couple more things that I want to show you, and then we'll wrap it up. Okay, also Replicant.fashion, another marketplace, digital fashion marketplace. Also, Leanne here mentioned something that I thought was really interesting. So I know I'm going to butcher this, but I'm going to try to explain what she was saying anyway. She was basically saying, one of the conversations, I guess, in fashion and, designing these out the clothing and whatnot is part of the artistry in that. And I guess one thing that they consider is like the physical connection that the person has with what they're wearing, right? So what that means is, right, when you have a t-shirt on, how it falls on you, right? How it forms with your body, right? This relationship that the t-shirt would have with your body, like that's all part of the artistry and the connection that we have with our clothing, right? And so she was saying one thing that they're working on is how to take this physical connection that we have with our clothing. She was even talking about, the shirt that you have that, 10 years later that you're still wearing, it has this connection with your skin, right? How it feels on you, how it falls on you, X, Y, and Z. And so she was saying one thing that they're exploring is how to take that physical connection that you have, and also the storytelling aspect, if you will, that you have with your clothing, right? Like, for example, this shirt and I, we've been through some things, right? This hat, we've been through some things, right? And she was saying how there's an interesting conversation on how to bring that to digital goods, to digital fashion. So for example, she was saying, if you buy a digital t-shirt, how can they code something in there to where it now so it almost like records everything that happens when you're wearing that shirt or when you have that digital shirt. So she was like, so maybe that shirt has a record of all the likes and the comments associated with that digital shirt. Maybe that shirt, after X amount of years, it starts to tear. It starts to get wear and tear and eventually expires, right? Like our physical clothes, they wear and tear and they expire. How do we incorporate that into digital fashion? So I thought I just butchered that totally, but I thought it was super interesting how she talked about that. So if you go back and watch this, definitely, I think it's near the end of this conversation where she mentions that. So talked about Tafi. Okay, DressX. Another digital fashion, digital clothing platform where you can shop. It looks like they have an app going on here. I haven't looked much into this yet, but I enjoyed the conversation that they had. And then there was one more I was going to show you all. Okay, the Artisant.io NFTs. And again, these NFT drops that are happening across these digital fashion marketplaces, there are resales happening on secondary marketplaces. So again, it's an interesting opportunity to see, do you want to invest in a digital piece, or do you want to try to flip it, or X, Y, and Z? Because I will say the dematerialized, their stuff sells out ASAP, right? That stuff is selling out. And y'all, that's all I have for you. I just wanted to talk about this a little bit more. Let's go back to the Discord real quick. And I post a lot more about this in the Discord. DigiFizzy, Metaverse magazine. There was another one. Yeah, which is a part of Digital Acts. I've been doing a lot more research into Digital Acts. They got some interesting things, some interesting tokenomics going on. So that's something that I'm looking into right now. So again, definitely make sure y'all come over here into the Discord. Let's hit this chat one more time, and then we're gonna go ahead and wrap up, y'all. Nigel says they won't be digital for long. There's a 3D print company working on spray print technology, making some great milestones as well. Spray print technology. So I guess my only thing with that, so I'm actually interested in what you mean by that, Nigel. Are you saying that you think the people who buy these digital items will want to spray print them? Is that what you're saying? Just interested in what your thought is on that. All right, y'all, we're gonna wrap it up. Nigel will eventually be able to download a blueprint file, put it through Splitter. Do you mean printer? Or sprayer, and print out the garment? That sounds interesting. That's going to be an interesting technological advancement. The only thing with that is, I mean, you wouldn't be able to, take that physical garment and, wear it in the metaverse. And I'm sure there is going to be a conversation, right? The whole thing about digital fashion is, it'll mainly live in the metaverse and in these virtual worlds and in AR, and all you need is talent, technical skill set, and a computer to do it, right? But I mean, that is very interesting. I haven't heard about that. But yeah, again, the conversations that I'm here. So what is interesting about that, Nigel, is I wonder if there's going to be something, are they going to have to come out with legal or some type of disclaimer that if you buy the digital NFT well, once you buy it, it's yours, right? So maybe you could 3D print it if you wanted to, right? But as far as digital fashion going anywhere, I think at this point, I'm 100% convinced that digital fashion will 100% be a thing. It's not going anywhere. People will start to catch on. A lot of innovation is going to come out of this movement. It's 100, as long as the metaverse is here, as long as VR is here, as long as AR is here, digital fashion will be here, period, right? And so that's why I'm talking about this so much. There's a lot in this space that we're uncertain about, but when I go down these digital fashion rabbit holes and stuff like this, it's just easy. It's so easy to see and make all this make sense. Like, it just makes sense that, this is already happening. It's been happening, and it will 100% continue to happen. Right. So that's why I'm talking about this so much, because people are sleeping on it. Particularly in the crypto space. Like I've tried searching some videos, and y'all, nobody in the crypto space, is talking about fashion in this way, in the transformation that is going on in the fashion industry right now. And best believe that is going to involve blockchain, right? We already see some companies and protocols working on this. Now imagine when people really start to catch on, companies really start to catch on, and we see this billions upon billions upon billions upon billions industry come into blockchain and start utilizing this technology. I mean, it's going to be crazy. Ish says hello. Nigel says, but there will be people out there who will want to live their character persona in the real world. Completely agree. Digital fashion is here to stay. Yeah, I hear you on that. So the only thing I would say about that, Nigel, and I kind of talked about this in the last live, is that we're going to have multiple identities, right? We're moving into a world where we have our physical plane identity, and then we're going to have multiple VR, virtual reality, metaverse identities, right? So I hear what you're saying about maybe some people will want to live out their virtual identity in the real world. So maybe, they're wearing their virtual clothes in the physical world. I could definitely see that as a possibility. But I think there's going to be a little bit... part of me is like, I think there's going to be a little bit more of a disconnect there. I don't know. Because again, in the next 5 to 10 years, would you really want to wear that digital fashion item in person when you're going to be spending half your day in VR anyway? Right? But interesting to think about. Nigel asked for the legality of printing off a metaverse item. You couldn't police it if you wanted to. True. Right. Right. And even then, like I was saying, I mean, you still own you still own that NFT, right? You still own that item. But it's kind of like the idea, like how you can buy an image, and I know this because as an art, as a creator, it's kind of like how you can buy an image, but that doesn't mean that you can put that image on a T-shirt and sell it. But if I put it on a T-shirt that I own and I only wear it, then I don't know. Yeah, interesting stuff. Interesting stuff to think about. All right, y'all. Like I said, that's all I have for y'all tonight. Hopefully that was somewhat interesting to you all. Like I said, I'm continuing. I just want to learn more and more about this. Like I said, like I always say, it's so easy to get caught up in, all this different stuff, and you're, throwing money and 100 different tokens and stuff. Let's reel it back. Let's get back to the basics here and focus on tokens, focus on companies, protocols, X, Y, and Z that you actually believe in, that you actually, perhaps feel some type of passion about. And that's how I'm really starting to feel as I go down this digital fashion rabbit hole. Like I'm really starting to feel something with this genre or category, if you will. And I think a lot of people are sleeping on it. I think a lot of people are sleeping on this. So y'all have a good night. Subscribe, join us in the Discord, hit our solo.2 link, and that's it, y'all. We're going to try to get our new Twitter up as soon as possible. We'll let y'all know when that happens. And y'all have a good night.
To stay together, 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 to stay together. Woo! They said it wouldn't last. Always work it out somehow. Work it out somehow. They said it wouldn't last. They said it wouldn't last.